Oh man, that's so. When did I start in this industry? Well, I would say long ago. My dad ran a church. It was a smaller church, and in Colorado, and I learned how to do the soundboard from a very young age. So I was running sound. I was setting up the entire system every week because it was in a school. We met in a school, in a gymnasium, and I was having to wire up everything as there were sort of new technologies or new requests. I'd have to research these things and put them in. And honestly, I was probably around 10 years old, and I was running sound for church services and doing all the wiring, etc. So fast forward a number of years, we were in Littleton at a church, and I was actually in the sound booth, and I was approached by someone I didn't really know, but they knew me, being a pastor's kid. That's common. And they came up to me and asked if I would be interested in a job doing AV stuff, audiovisual residential. And so I checked it out. So I said yes, and I got addicted at that point. So we were doing mostly a lot of home theaters, pre-wires, etc. Whole house automation, but home theaters were very in then. I still love home theaters. I think they're making a comeback. But I did a number of home theaters. I left that company, started my own for a while, Paradigm Home Systems, and we did a lot of different projects. Back then, we were doing a lot of just Harmony remote stuff. I wasn't touching Crestron a lot. From there, I went to another integrator. And then finally, there was another residential, and then finally, I went to a commercial integrator. And a lot of the reason for that transition was I got married, so I wanted a little more stability in our income, and it was kind of during the recession that we started making that transition. So from there, I became familiar with Crestron. I became familiar with a number of other platforms, and after several years at that commercial integrator, Crestron Electronics offered me a job in Greenwood Village, Colorado. So I went to Crestron. I was there handling support cases, and so all I would do is pick up the phone, which was crazy because there's like 4,000 different SKUs at the time, and so many products. There's so many products that Crestron has, and you'd have to be an expert at everything. And so all day long, I was just answering the phone, and you go just from one direction to another, commercial to residential, to products that are super old, to products that are super new and that you barely have touched. And so that became, that was actually a lot of fun. It was very challenging. I never was bored at work. And eventually that evolved into being one of their network systems engineers. And so I always had a networking background just from school and education. I was also a part of their Crestron's Product Security Council. So I would manage vulnerabilities, Crestron's vulnerabilities, like with the Department of Defense, the CVE disclosures, etc. So that was generally, if there was an issue, you'd be talking to me. And if there was a network-related issue, potentially if you were, Apple, Facebook, Google, there was a Crestron product and it wasn't behaving friendly. Maybe it was a Nessus scanner was causing stuff to reboot. We've seen that before on the old DMPS models, if you're familiar with those. And so from there, I started doing beta for Crestron Ping, which is now called Crestron Home, and put that entire product line in my house. Crestron provided all the shades, all the switches, all of those things, and we did like a real beta situation. Right before COVID, I left Crestron. They were sort of tightening up on some of the work from home stuff, which is ironic because when COVID hit, then everyone was working from home. But I went to a Crestron startup where we did lighting control automation in Los Angeles. Well, that became problematic during COVID. Everything kind of came to a halt then, all those projects. And eventually I started AVL. So in 2020, and started helping a lot of churches do their simulcast. So sort of getting those streams put on YouTube, etc. And then eventually, residential, they warmed back up to having people in their homes. And then the residential market was back in business. And so naturally, that's kind of how AVL fell into both a commercial and residential field. Is A, I'm familiar with both sides, and then B, COVID really changed that dynamic. So brought us initially into the commercial world, but residential is really where my passion is, and because we actually care about quality in residential. So like a home theater can sound amazing, right? But in a lot of commercial applications, you're just putting sound reinforcement in. It's just boring stuff. And so like you're talking to a microphone or you play something like, oh cool, it comes out of the ceiling in just an okay quality. I really enjoy quality systems. So that's that.